Hello everyone. What I wanted to do today is show you how you can take a drawing from your artist book. I'm taking this little artist book that's like 6 by 6 and looking at a sketch here that I did earlier. And what I'm going to do is, in fact, I've already started this. I drew a little picture here on my paper. You can see this well. I'm trying to adjust. I already drew the picture on there just with a pencil. And then I'm going to take and outline my drawing with a black actually, this is a black marker pencil. And I'm just going to roughly go over this real quickly here. It doesn't have to be perfect. What we're going to do is paint all of this in. And it's not going to be exactly like what is in my artist book, but it's going to be close. It shouldn't be exact. If you're doing things free-handed, they're never going to look exactly, the same. They're never going to look exactly like what you did earlier. But you get the idea from the sketchbook, and then you go with it. Let me see if I can get our little bird in here. I'm going to make his tail feathers there a little bit longer. I'm going to go around here. There's this little elegant throat there. There's his head. Here's the wings, which, as I sketched them, I thought they turned out pretty well. I was happy with them. So I'm just going over this with my black pen here. Okay, that looks pretty good for the bird. I'm going to get his eye right in there. And let me try to get his little pointy beak up there. Okay, and I'd even make that a little bit thicker as it comes down to his head. All right, because I want that little beak to be sucking nectar right out of the center of that flower. And then here is more green leaves. That's about all of the leaves there. And then here's the center of the flower. Okay. And here is the leaves on the flower itself. I drew this out. I got an extra line in there, but that's okay. We'll probably cover that up with some paint. That leaf. It's not a leaf, it's a petal on the flower. Here's the petal on the flower. Like I said, don't worry about getting them absolutely, right, because that's fine. However they come out, that's going to be good. Okay. And this is going to be what do they call these? The pestils that come out of the center there. They kind of come out like that. And this is kind of hanging down, so they kind of be hanging downward. Okay, now then, I'm going to take a brush here, and I think what I want to do, let's get a brush. It's just a tiny bit bigger here, maybe. It's filbert. I think you can see it. I have some kind of small brushes for this. That's fine. That's probably what I need today, because this is not a real big painting. Okay, now then, my water, I'm going to start off here by putting just some water here on the background, because I'm just going to put this background in fairly quickly. And wherever you put the water, it should kind of stay in that area. So if there's places that you don't want the paint to go, this is definitely the time to get that in there. And I'm going to take just some light blue, get a little more water on my brush, take just a little of the light blue, and I'm just going to fill in this background. Because this is the sky peeking through here. Sure. At this point, once you've got this drawn on here, it's just a bit like, almost like coloring in a color book. And you've got this on here like you want it, and you've already created this drawing, this picture, in your artist book. So now you're using that to guide you, and it's just really pretty much just filling in here. More sky back there, and I'm going to get more water because I didn't have much water down in this area here at all. And some of this back behind, I'm going to fill it in with green, because it would, to me, that would be greenery back in there too. So more sky peeking through here. This is pretty quick, pretty easy. You just keep going, keep going, keep going. If I was just doing this on my own time and not making a video, I would probably take a lot more time and care with this. But making the video, I don't want you to be bored because I'm taking too long. So I don't take quite as much care, and I'm doing it quite a bit faster than I would otherwise. Okay. I'm just gonna, we're almost done with our sky, our background now. Just a bit more of it here. Look at that sky peeking through there. Peeking around that flower. Peeking through around our little bird and our greenery. That's going to look good. That is going to look good. Now, can you tell this is a leaf right in here? Maybe I should pull that up a little bit different so that you don't think it's part of the bird's tail. It almost looks like part of the bird's tail. But we can probably take care of that once we get down to the painting of it, of the greenery. Okay, there's that. Maybe to make that look a little bit better and a little bit so you know more where the bird's going and the greenery begins. There we go. Now, that looks better. Okay, now then, I'm just going to start with filling in some of the greenery. Get my green paint going here. And just start filling in. Yep. At some point I may want to change brushes here, but for right now I think this will be okay. Okay. And sometimes your brush strokes can really make things look better. Like you can almost see the veins in these leaves just by using your brush strokes. Okay. More greenery. And I'm going to maybe use a couple of shades of green here so that they're not just all the same. Okay. See what I mean by your brush strokes? You can maybe create even little veins and things in the leaves if you want to. You know, I think there should have been a little bit of sky maybe peeking through here. I'm not sure. I'm going to add some in there and then see how I feel about that. Say there's a little sky peeking through there. Okay. And then that helps this other leaf here make a little bit more sense. Because this leaf is coming around here. And down here. Around. I probably need my smaller brush by now, but I said I'm trying to get this done as quick as I can. And then again, let your brush strokes create a few little things on the leaves there. And I'm going to bring this leaf down in here so that it kind of looks connected. Now then, on we go. I've got this leaf. I mean, you wouldn't even really have to outline these. You could just leave it with your pencil, but I thought doing it this way, you would be able to see it a bit better, and that would all be good. Some little streaks in there. Okay, now then here, I'm going to be a little bit careful in here because this leaf, the bird has flown right into this greenery to get to that beautiful nectar in the flower. Okay? He has flown right into those leaves. And then we've got another leaf here. And again, I'm being a little bit careful here because this leaf is right against, actually my orange flower is kind of laying on top of that leaf. So there we go, and I'm going to put a few brush strokes in here just to kind of make this look like it has some veins and things in it. And then I'm going to take some greenery and I'm going to just let this greenery come right back in here. We don't know exactly what all this is, but it's just more of the leaves and the greenery and whatever's back there. See, like that. And there's probably some thicker veins and things coming out through here somewhere, so just kind of put them in there, wherever you think they might be. Okay. And there's that much done. I'm going to rinse out my brush a little bit. And I'm thinking I'm going to work on the bird. And since I'm going to work on the bird, I'm going to get this smaller brush here. Just trying to adjust this a little bit so I'm sure that you're able to see everything. Okay, now I'm going to look at this other little painting that I did, and I see that there is some kind of a pinkish color that I've used on the bottom of this little hummingbird. So what I'm going to do is I have kind of a burgundy. I didn't have pink, but I'm going to mix some white with this kind of burgundy color. And I'm going to use this in place of that pink. Actually, that turned out pretty good. And how far did I go with that? I took it to about here. Okay. And kind of took it up here a little bit. Okay, and there was a little bit of this pink on the bird's tail. I'm going to put a little bit of that on the tail here. We're going to have other colors too, so this will be fine. And remember, it's not going to be exact, and it's not even supposed to be exact. So, oh, but here's something I should have noticed. Let me mix up a little bit more of this white and burgundy color to try to get that pink. And there is some of this even in here on the wings. So let's get some of that in here. Okay. Oh, and I see a leaf that we missed. That's okay. We can go back in a little bit and get it. Okay. Now then, what's the next color I want to do? Maybe this lavender. And I've got some very, very, very purple here I'm going to mix with. Again, mix with a little bit of the white. And I'm going to put this around his head, down his back here, and a little bit there, and down here. liking this already. And then 2, we're going to, again, mix up a little bit of this purple. We're going to put some of this on the wings. Oh, I'm liking this. I am liking this. Okay. Just kind of think about where you'd want this to be. And remember, we're going to put green in here too. So, there is that. Then, I'll take that on down here just a little bit. You know what? Because there is so much green on the back here, I may change that one color. But I'm going to go back here for a minute with my other paintbrush here. I hope I haven't been covering anything up with our book. If I did, I apologize because I want you to see the painting. This is the leaf that I said we missed. So we need to get it in there. Yeah, we need to get that leaf in there. And maybe some little veins in it. Going out this way and that way. This one too. No, like extra veins in there. Okay, now then, once again, I'll wash out the brush here just a bit. Oops, I didn't get that washed out very good. Then, I'm going to need a little bit of yellow here, and I am just going to take it right out of this tube, I think. Can you see what I'm doing here? I'm just squeezing a little bit out of this tube because this is the center of our flower. That's the yellow center of the flower. Just putting it in there just like that. And then we are going to get our bigger brush again, one that's just a little bit bigger. Let's see what I did with that. We'll try it with this one, okay? We'll try it with our filbert again. It's still got a little bit of green in it. Maybe I'll wash some of that out. And we are going to go right to our orange flower. Okay. And here we go with it. Okay. And again, your brush strokes make a big difference in your flower. Whatever way you want these petals to kind of look like they're turning inward. Okay. And here is our next one. You don't have to be too terribly careful with this, although you want to be somewhat careful because you don't want the petals smeared all over the leaves. So you might want to be somewhat careful. But because this is drawn out with a black pen, well, we can see where our lines are. We can see where petals end. If we were just painting this, we'd have to worry a lot more about dark and white and shadows so that you could see where petals ended and a new one began. But this is drawn out, kind of color book style, so you can see each petal separately. And that's good. Okay. And here is this little petal here. And I'm being just a little bit cautious because the little bird's head is right there. And I want to keep it looking good. Okay, here's another flower petal. Ooh. Thought I had a hair on there, but I guess that's a pencil line. I probably just need to cover up. Okay. Oh, I know what that is. Yes, I was going to make that 2 petals and then decided to make it 1. So that's why that line looks like it's there. And that's fine. I'll just cover it up with the paint. And then here's our last petal leaf. Okay. Actually, I think that looks pretty good. Got a little bit here to fill in. I think that'll be fine. Let's see. And then I've got to decide what other color am I going to put on the little bird's back. Now in here, it's green. Can you see it in here? On here, I've got some green in there. But on this one, I don't want the green to just run into those petals. So I'm thinking maybe I'll get a tiny bit more of that yellow and use it. See if I like that. And again, I can just pop this right out of the tube because I'm only going to be using a small amount here. Ooh, and actually I'm liking that. That's giving it a nice bright look there. I'm just filling in the places on the leaves, the back and the tail that in my artist book, like I said, and you saw it was green on there. I'm even going to put some of this on these little tips of this wing. Because I think that is just going to look real good. And then, you know, I was thinking about my first attempt at doing a little hummingbird. Oh my goodness, it didn't really turn out well as I hoped it would, as most things do. Don't be too hard on yourself when you make a first attempt at something, because a lot of times your first attempt is not going to be your best, and that's okay. That way you'll try again and you'll try more, and each time you'll get better. So here is this. I think we're done with this. And here is the picture from my artist book, the little sketch and painting that I did. And then here's the one we just finished today. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. I hope you are too. And always, always, always remember to sign your work. Always sign your work. Now then, we're going to take this tape. Hopefully, we're going to take this tape off. And then we can really see how nice it looks. Because the tape, of course, makes a little frame around it. And all the pictures look better when they have a little frame on them. So this is that frog tape. It's called frog tape. Painters, the ones that paint rooms in your home, use this to keep the paint from bleeding where they don't want it to go. And that's what we use it for in our artwork. Oops. Is to keep the paint from bleeding where we don't want it to go. And that way we can end up with a little frame. Okay? And sometimes you will get a little area like that. Don't worry about it. Just take a little bit of your white paint. Put it right in there. You can just glue that down. Okay. And then there's nothing we can mess up that we can't fix or paint over. So never panic. All right. Then I'm going to pick this up. And I'm going to take up my back sheet here that I had this on. And I'll just lay this picture on the dark blue table here. Hopefully I'll get it on there where you can see it well. And that's our finished product. I hope you like it. So you see how we can go from this in our sketchbook to creating a larger picture, a larger painting. And you could do this with acrylics. You could do it really with anything, color pencil, watercolor pencils. Watercolor pencil, I think, is what I did this with. So hope you had fun today, and hope you get out your paints and your paper and your brushes and just have a good time. Bye for now.